Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I wanted to touch on a topic that I mentioned in my last video, where we are working on rebuilding our self-esteem. Especially for many after being narcissistically abused for years and years and years. And it's something that some of you were able to relate to. And that is that self-talk. Or that inner voice that we hear that tells us we were just put on earth to be abused by others. Or we say it to ourselves when we cry out to God. And I've been there many times in my life. And to feel like that would be completely fair. Many of you have been abused for most if not all of your lives. Where does it stop? You see. This is where the societal narcissism makes things difficult. And this is in no way an excuse. It's just a simple observation. And it seems everywhere you look. It's more and more difficult to meet people you can develop some history with and get to know over a long period of time. Dating apps have been pushed so heavily in this society. And guess who benefits? Those that make the apps. But we see and hear day after day. This man or woman losing their life or getting robbed while meeting up with this complete stranger. So you are literally gambling on random people, hoping this one isn't another narcissist, or that you won't get robbed or lose your life by meeting up with them. And just because your first meetup goes extremely well, it doesn't mean you still aren't getting set up for your second or third interaction to be robbed or to have your life taken. Why is this important? Because at every turn narcissism and narcissistic relationships are being pushed in society. We know that narcissists get highly bored of people. They can discard those in their life they once professed their love for as if they never even knew them or cared for them. And they can do this because they never really did care for them. They see people as objects to be used. Money is the thing they want most and they almost worship it sadly. Or they might flat out worship it. Well, take a look at the dating world today. This is exactly what is being promoted by the societal narcissists that want to see narcissism and evil spread and grow. You see how this ties in with how we feel about are we just here to be abused? Is when you get started off on the wrong foot of life. It can be difficult to gain solid ground. It's not impossible, but it can be difficult. I've mentioned Erin Pizzi before. And she stated that those she worked with that were victims of this kind of relationship mistreatment or abuse, if they had a solid family they were really tight with. And they also were able to make good friends as well. If this one romantic partner or so-called friend came into their life to create chaos, once the smoke was cleared, these types were able to heal twice as fast and get moving forward with their life. Why? Because they were on solid ground. And likely they didn't feel like they were just put on earth to be abused. Why? Because they did have friends that were good to them. They did have family that loved them. There were examples in their life of love, help and protection, of kindness, joy and peace. They've seen it. They've been given it. And others have wonderfully accepted it from them as well. And that gift was treated with respect and care. But all of a sudden here comes this one snake pretending to be a loving dove. That causes chaos and problems in this person's life. But the moment they are able to get free from this snake, though it's not a guarantee, this person can and likely will have a better chance at having a positive self-image and who they are in this world. Why? Because they've had and they have great people around them that let them know they are worth so much more. Just by them being there. They don't have to say you're great and all of this kind of stuff. They can just be there and be consistent. And as a result they will know and realize. Wait a minute. Everyone in my life treats me well. It's just this one person that doesn't. And though it might have taken a bit to realize, they can eventually put two and two together. And thus their self-esteem might have a bit of an easier time to rebuild. But then you have someone that was lied to and manipulated by their parent or parents since day one. They were treated terribly by their grade school teachers. And most of their classmates growing up. You are starting out in this world what we call love-starved, and this is not a good place to be. Because you sadly and without knowing it, you start to develop a way or a life around you that says to other narcissists that you are a prime target. And those that are healthy might see certain things in your life that seem a bit off, to where it repels them. You see, I remember back when I was in junior high and high school, there was a really beautiful girl that all of the boys liked. She looked like she came from money. She had extremely fancy clothes. She rarely wore the same thing twice. Or so it seemed. In high school she had a really fancy car. Now before I finish this story, those that know my background or those that know a little bit, I was horribly, and I do mean horribly, picked on in grade school by the teachers and the students. However, around junior high I moved to a different area of town, to where I was attending a new school with new people. And my mother wasn't able to use her help-seeking crazy narcissist mess as easy at this school, to where it would make me a target of the teachers. Most of the teachers once I moved were just fine. However, the damage was done by my terrible ability to learn while in grade school because of the abuse I went through. The teachers in junior high I think believed I was just lazy, when in reality I tried very hard. But despite how hard I was trying, I just was failing everything. So though I got away from being picked on, the stress dramatically increased, with me feeling even more like being a dummy. I felt so terrible about myself, though I tried to put on an outward shell that I had it together. But back to the story about this girl. This girl that was just utterly amazing. Amazing to look at. Amazing to walk by in the halls. Then one day she started to talk to me. There were several times over the years from junior high on, where she sought me out and wanted to sit by me, where she wanted to talk with me. And even after high school, when I bumped into her at the mall, she seemed bummed to hear that I had a girlfriend. It took me a long time, but I realized that she more than likely liked me. She seemed healthy, well-adjusted and kind. And I believe it's a good thing that I didn't talk much around her, because I didn't want to say anything wrong. Because at the same time, I remember and can look back on a few other healthy girls that showed interest in me, but then quickly disappeared. And probably even in their young brains and guts, they likely understood, even without understanding, that though I was kind, I had damage. And healthy people don't know what to do with that sometimes, and I don't blame them. So because either I avoided healthy women or they avoided me, guess who I linked up with? That's right. Just like many of you. A narcissist. And it was just a downward spiral from there. But here's the thing about looking back on all of that. I understand that I wasn't ugly or dumb or someone's punching bag. Had I have started out on the right foot, I probably would have made better choices. And others would have seen me as healthy and not a damaged human being with no family. And I'm not saying life would have been perfect, but the chance at a better life I believe would have been possible. You see, Satan wants you to start out badly and end up badly. He wants you to give up on yourself, to think I'm ugly, dumb and stupid and all of these things. I still remember that girl to this day. She was a cheerleader. And you would think by the way she looked she would have a terrible materialistic personality. But she never treated me badly, not one day. Not one. And she really seemed to enjoy being around me. I'm like, in my cartoon head. Why is she talking to me? I've got no money. Though I did my best to dress as stylish as I could. I was broke. And I'm a dummy. Doesn't she want someone on the football team or something? But I just let the chance pass me by. Why? Because I felt like even at that age, that I was here to be abused. But the gift I got from that several years of her trying to get my attention, I learned that maybe, just maybe, I just got started off in life on the wrong foot. It's not an excuse. It's just what it is. Terrible family and one bad thing after another. But I am worthy of kindness and love and decency. Because though I could be wrong, I don't think she had a bad intent. I knew her on and off through junior high and high school. And slightly after school. And she always behaved classy and kind. So maybe I was and am worth good treatment after all. You see. We have to understand. We, or most of us, don't have that safety net that Aaron Pizzi was speaking about. Coming from a wonderful and protective family. That's not us. So we must be careful and even more strongly guard our hearts. But we shouldn't be so scared we block our blessings either. Please know. It's normal to feel like that you were solely put here for abuse. And for others to use you. But that's not the truth. The truth is God put you here so you can find your life mission. And it's Satan's job along with his narcissists from keeping you from finding that mission and completing it. This is why it seems it keeps on happening. Because he's trying with you. But you are starting to see things like I was able to remember. It's like, okay. The devil wants to make it seem like my life is a complete mess, but that's not the truth. And just take baby steps. And gain a little ground at a time. And it's okay to be leery of others. But I believe there are others that will see your value. But the first step is you have to see it first. You have to see it first. Well, I think this is a great place to stop. Please comment and let me know what you think and feel. I would love to hear your comments. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.